All right. Although I assume everyone knows about Nixon's resignation from presidency, like me, I doubt many of you know what truly led up to his resignation or about Nixon himself. So, feeling I should know more about this major event in U.S. history, I began researching the topic. Now, I feel like I can confidently talk about Nixon's early life, what happened during the Watergate scandal, and what came from Watergate. However, before Nixon was elected and faced controversy over the Watergate scandal, he was born in 1913, California. Later, he would graduate from Duke's University of Law and would practice law in California until World War II began. According to the White House website, Nixon served as a Navy lieutenant commander and afterwards would run for Senate in 1950 and win. 2 years later, Eisenhower would ask Nixon to be his running mate, and Nixon would serve as vice president under Eisenhower's administration until he would run for president himself, narrowly losing to John F. Kennedy, and wouldn't win until 1968. However, his presidency came to much turmoil right before his second-term election, when 5 burglars attempted to break into the Democratic National Committee office in Watergate Living Complex. The burglars were caught attempting to place eavesdropping equipment and to steal or duplicate DNC files. One of the burglars being the security chief of Nixon's re-election committee. Once the news broke out, the Nixon's administration quickly and successfully shot down any connections between them and their administration. However, according to Rick Perlstein, author of Nixonland, it wasn't until one of the burglars gave up a letter from the higher-ups of the administration that any connection between the burglars and the administration could be made. So, the president's response was firing anyone accused of being involved and claiming ignorance and innocence. 15 months later, a former White House staff member would reveal all conversations in the president's office would be recorded on tapes. So, Nixon was forced to hand over the tapes. However, when he did, they found gaps in the recordings, and when he handed them over, he didn't turn over all the tapes he was supposed to. So after a lot more pressure from the House, he gave up the remaining tapes. And what happened after the remaining tapes were handed over, and how did this affect Nixon's presidency? Well, soon after the remaining tapes given up, evidence on the tapes found linked him to the cover-up of the Watergate scandal. According to the Constitutional Right Foundation website, a few days after he announces his resignation, in doing so becoming the first ever person to step down from presidency. Afterwards, his vice president of the time, Gerald Ford, would take over office and full pardon Nixon. In conclusion, I've now talked about what Nixon did before Watergate, what happened during Watergate, and what came from Watergate. So I hope you have a better comprehension of the events, as I have come to have as well. And here is a picture of the man himself.